There comes a time in life when the mirror doesn't reflect youth, but wisdom. When laughter lines etch stories and silence fills spaces once crowded with noise. Growing older is a privilege, but it comes with invisible burdens, ones that no one talks about. As we age, we gain clarity, but we also risk adopting subtle habits that quietly push others away. Not because we are bad people, but because life has shaped us in ways we didn't even notice. Have you ever felt the room grow quiet when you enter? Or sensed your children avoiding long conversations? Maybe you've been dismissed, ignored, or quietly excluded. It's painful and confusing. Because you care. You've lived, you've sacrificed. But still, something feels off. This video is not about judgment, it's about truth. About the little things we do, often unknowingly, that create discomfort in those around us. Things no one tells us out of politeness, fear, or simply not knowing how to say it. But here, we say it. Not to criticize, but to help you reconnect, to restore, and to live these years with the dignity, love, and respect you deserve. Stay with me until the end. You may be shocked, you may feel seen, but most importantly, you'll walk away empowered. Let's uncover the 8 ugly habits in old age that make people uncomfortable, but no one tells you. Habit 1, the silent habit that's destroying your peace. Constant complaining. Complaining may feel like a release, but it often becomes a trap. When life becomes filled with aches, loss, and changes, it's easy to fall into the habit of pointing out what's wrong with the world, with the young generation, with our bodies, with the past. And while it's natural to voice frustration, doing it constantly can push others away. Here's the psychology behind it. The human brain is wired for empathy, but it also avoids emotional drain. Repeated negativity, even in small doses, activates a stress response in listeners. Over time, people begin to associate your presence with discomfort, not because they don't care, but because they feel helpless. They don't know how to fix what you're sharing, so they disengage. Worse, this habit starts to corrode your own sense of peace. When you complain constantly, your mind begins to focus only on what's broken. Gratitude shrinks, joy fades, hope dims. You begin to lose sight of the beauty that still exists in a blooming flower, a grandchild's laughter, a soft breeze. Instead of complaining, try storytelling. Share a memory, ask a question, listen with curiosity. Shift the tone from what's wrong to what can we learn. When you do, you become a light in the room, someone people want to sit beside, not walk away from. Complaints isolate, but connection heals. Choose words that bring people closer, not words that build walls. Habit 2, the controlling urge that pushes loved ones away. Unsolicited advice. It often comes from a good place, a desire to protect, to guide, to offer the wisdom you've earned through years of experience. But offering unsolicited advice can quickly feel like criticism or control to others, especially to younger generations who are struggling to find their own way. Here's the truth. Advice feels different when it's not asked for. It carries a subtle message, you're doing it wrong. This can lead to defensiveness, withdrawal, and sometimes even resentment. Think about it. Have you ever been excited to share something with someone, only to be met with a list of what you should have done instead? It doesn't feel good, and yet we often do this without realizing it. Psychologically, people crave autonomy. They want to feel seen and heard, not fixed. When you listen without trying to correct, you offer something much more powerful than advice. You offer validation. That's what builds trust and emotional closeness. Instead of advising, try asking, would you like my thoughts on that? Or, what do you think you'll do next? These questions empower rather than override. They show respect for the other person's journey. Your wisdom is valuable, but it's most powerful when it's invited. Don't let the urge to help become the reason people pull away. Let them come to you, and they will, when they know you're a safe space, not a lecture hall. Habit 3, the emotional poison. Few acknowledge bitterness over the past. Time can be both a healer and a reminder. As we age, memories of past betrayals, disappointments, or missed opportunities can become louder. Bitterness creeps in, silently masked as wisdom, sarcasm, or caution. But it's toxic, not only to others but to your own spirit. Bitterness shows in comments like, "People can't be trusted," or "That's just how the world is." It can also hide in comparisons. "In my day, we respected our elders," creating emotional distance. What others hear isn't strength, it's pain that hasn't healed. Psychologically, bitterness is a form of grief. It's the mourning of a version of life you never got to live. But instead of letting go, bitterness clings to the story, replaying it over and over. The result? People feel they can't be joyful around you. They start tiptoeing. They share less. They visit less. And you deserve better. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing to stop letting the past steal your present. Try reframing the narrative. Instead of "I was betrayed," say, "I survived betrayal and grew stronger." Instead of "People let me down," say, "I've learned to protect my peace." People are drawn to those who have walked through fire and come out with warmth, not smoke. Drop the bitterness, embrace the lesson, and watch your relationships and your spirit transform. Habit 4, the invisible wall, refusing to learn or adapt. Change is hard, especially after decades of doing things a certain way. But refusing to adapt or learn new things can isolate you more than you realize. Whether it's technology, language, or shifting cultural norms, digging your heels in only widens the gap between you and the world around you. Statements like, "I don't need that," or "That's not how we did it," may feel comforting, but they send a message: "I'm not interested in your world." This can make younger people feel judged, unheard, or dismissed. The truth is, the world is moving fast. And while you don't need to master every app or trend, a willingness to learn says you still care. You're still curious. You're still growing. That's incredibly attractive and rare. Psychologists say lifelong learning keeps the brain sharp and the spirit young. It also boosts self-esteem, combats loneliness, and builds connection across generations. Instead of resisting, try asking, "Can you show me how that works?" Or, "That's interesting, tell me more." You'll be surprised how eager others are to include you when you show interest. You don't have to change your identity, but staying open keeps your mind and your relationships alive. Adaptability isn't about surrender. It's about staying relevant and respected. Habit 5, the self-sabotaging behavior. Overemphasizing illness. Health challenges are real and they deserve attention. But when illness becomes the center of every conversation, it can overwhelm those around you. Constantly talking about symptoms, medications, and doctor visits creates an emotional weight that most people aren't equipped to carry daily. This habit, though unintentional, can feel like a form of emotional dependency. It subtly asks others to carry the burden of your pain not once, but repeatedly. Over time, people may start calling less, visiting less, or changing the subject quickly. Psychologically, this is called co-rumination, the repeated discussion of problems without seeking solutions. While it creates temporary closeness, it eventually leads to emotional exhaustion. Instead, balance your truth with positivity. Share your health status honestly, but don't let it dominate your identity. Speak about what you're doing despite the illness. Talk about what inspires you. Ask about others. Laugh, dream, participate. You are more than your pain. When you shift the narrative, others see your strength, not just your struggle. Empathy grows when people feel they're engaging with your whole self, not just your suffering. Choose to be a symbol of resilience, not just a story of hardship. Habit 6, the conversation killer. Dominating every interaction with stories of the past. Nostalgia is beautiful, but when every conversation becomes a trip down memory lane, it can become exhausting for others, especially younger listeners. Constantly bringing up "back in my day" can feel dismissive of today's realities. Storytelling is powerful when used sparingly and meaningfully, but monopolizing conversations with long tales from decades ago can make others feel unseen in the present. Psychologists note that excessive nostalgia can be a coping mechanism, a way to escape discomfort with the present or anxiety about the future. While it may comfort you, it can unintentionally silence others. Instead of dominating with stories, share one, then ask, "What's it like for you now?" Or, "How does that compare with your experience?" Make it a dialogue, not a monologue. Your past matters, but so does the now. And when you show interest in both, you become timeless, not stuck. Balance remembrance with presence. Let your stories inspire, not overshadow. Connection lives in shared moments, not solo performances. Habit 7. The cold curtain, withholding affection or praise. Age can bring emotional caution, especially if you've been hurt, disappointed, or raised in an era where affection was scarce. But withholding praise, kindness, or warmth creates distance. It signals disapproval, even when that's not your intent. People of all ages, especially family, crave emotional affirmation. A simple, "I'm proud of you," or "you did great," can change someone's entire week. Psychologically, positive reinforcement strengthens relationships. It tells others they are seen, appreciated, and loved. Without it, people start to question their worth in your eyes. Even if affection doesn't come naturally, practice it like a skill. A gentle touch, a kind word, a warm smile, these are bridges. They say, "I see you. I value you. I care." Don't assume people know. Say it, show it, and watch how your relationships blossom. Love unspoken is often love unfelt. Habit 8. The hidden ego, refusing to apologize or admit fault. Pride is a double-edged sword. It holds our dignity, but it can also cut our relationships. As we age, we may feel justified in our ways, hardened by life's battles. But refusing to apologize or admit when we're wrong turns wisdom into arrogance. Saying "I was wrong" or "I'm sorry" doesn't diminish your worth. It elevates it. It shows strength, not weakness. Psychologically, apologies restore trust and emotional safety. They open doors. They soften hearts. They mend what silence breaks. If you've hurt someone, even unintentionally, own it. Not with excuses, but with humility. "I see now that what I said hurt you. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry." That's it. Simple, powerful, human. Your legacy is not just in what you taught, but in how you made people feel. Don't let ego stand in the way of love. Conclusion. Growing old isn't a curse. It's a sacred chapter 1 where your presence, your words, your energy can be a gift to those around you. But only if you choose to reflect. Only if you choose to evolve. These habits aren't flaws. They're echoes of pain, of fear, of love unspoken. But now that you see them, you have the power to change them. You're not too old to grow. You're not too late to love. And you're never beyond the reach of deep, healing connection. Start small. One word, one gesture, one moment of awareness. And watch how the world begins to respond differently. You deserve to be surrounded by warmth, not distance. But that begins with you, with courage, with choice. If this video touched you, share it. Let's start a conversation that matters. Comment below which habit resonated with you most. And don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Life Guide. Because this journey isn't over, it's just getting deeper. Here we honor aging with truth, with grace, and with power. Until next time, stay wise, stay kind, stay open.